Nice.
Alright, let's play.
That looks pretty sweet.
Let's play.
Okay.
Pathfinder!
Alright.
Here we go.
So, you guys, the morning breaks. It's a very foggy morning. The sun is heavily obscured by mist and fog. And you hear gulls crying, you hear the sounds of a city waking up, people bustling through the streets, not seeming to care for the somewhat dreary weather. It is currently
17th.
Thank you. The 17th of Rain's Hand.
Sorry.
Traditionally the last day of a work week. And you guys arise.
Noah has
in
a question.
Small room. I'll get to it. I see the hand.
Oh gosh.
You guys awake in your small room.
High five.
Yes, Alvyn.
Did I heal a hit point?
Yes, you guys had a long rest. You heal 1 hit point from natural.
Oh my gosh! Are you at what? Like not 10?
I'm at 10 now.
4 more days.
Yes, so you feel a little better. Still, there's definitely some stiffness. The bruises on your shoulder and neck have now turned from. They've turned to like that green-yellow color. There's still definitely some stiffness, but you feel a little better. You guys, last night you met and spoke with Millak Norvor, who talked to you about Vox Libertas and its goal to lift up the citizens of Illyria, help them with the troubles that they face that no one else will help them with. You agreed to help him deal with a little bit of a street gang problem called the Jackals, who have taken hostage several citizens of the city, but the guards have either aren't able to take action or simply don't care. And so Millak and Vox Libertas they have taken it upon themselves to deal with the situation. And he knows where the hideout can be found, as he told you, and has given you this time to prepare, and then you will meet him at the Ratwall, roughly the same night or same time you did last night. So you guys have the day to prepare, explore, learn more about each other, learn more about this city.
Heal.
And heal. Do your best to be the opposite of dead.
Good morning. How are you feeling, Alvyn?
Bit better. Still sore.
Your black eye is going away. That is a good sign.
Yeah.
Do you get in fights very often?
Sorry, what was that?
Do you get in fights very often?
I try not to.
As in frequently? Oh, great. That's a movie reference, sorry. What about you, Grott? Have you ever been in a fight before?
I mean, yeah. Sometimes, like, my brothers and sisters who would argue or something. And, every once in a while it comes to blows. We hit each other a couple times, knock down a few walls, but there's never anything we can't repair.
Which one of you do you think is the strongest? Like, who would win in an arm wrestle?
It'd surely be me, for sure.
You.
Well, I'm not very strong. That was actually the weakest out of all my siblings. Compared to I was the oldest.
But you're so large.
Not as large as my family.
We should see. Oh wow. How big is your family?
Well, my younger brother, we'll go with Tad. He's the youngest. He weighs about 340 pounds. One time I saw him rip a whole tree out of the ground because it was in the way of his son, I guess.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Oh. Yes, because it is a tree. You like trees?
You said, do I like trees?
Yeah. Yeah. Is my accent too difficult? I am sorry. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we're kind of friends, but I don't get him as well as my dad does. My pa, he knows how to talk to trees way better than I do.
That would be useful, I suppose, if you needed to know something about the tree's age. I don't know. What do trees talk about?
Gossip mostly.
Besides the consistency of squirrel droppings.
No, I mean, when you have the same neighbors for hundreds of years or more, you start to talk about them.
Makes sense.
Yeah, who's growing more this year, who's getting closer to whose branches are coming together, all that.
Well, Alvyn, I am not very strong, but I wouldn't mind arm wrestling you. You're not at your full strength, right?
Alright, well, I'd rather not injure my other shoulder.
Then I win.
Alright, come here.
Ah, yes! Alright. We gotta do some bonding, okay?
Okay.
How are we doing this, GM? I am ready.
Since it's arm wrestling, I want competing. I want CMBs. Let's do combat maneuvers.
Okay. Oh. I'm going to use Mage Hand to help me push. It doesn't do anything.
I'd like to point out, don't short, small creatures getting punched to their CMB. Or is it the CMB?
It's CMD, I think, not CMD.
CMD.
I think we actually got a penalty to our CMD.
That's right, that's the trade-off.
Yeah.
We're doing... Alright, on the count of 3, are you ready?
If you have it.
1, 2, 3!
It's like 1, 2, 3, start, and it's instantly like bam, down.
Yeah.
You didn't even have a chance to really.
I think that I am the strongest in the room.
Your shoulder was hurting. The sun was in your eyes. You know, there was a cross breeze. There was, you were distracted by a sound outside in the hallway.
Yossi fell off his chair.
That's fine, that's again when I'm not injured.
Yossi fell off the chair. That's all I do.
That would be...
I'm gonna say no because Peg is not strong enough to do that. It wouldn't make physical sense.
Then another time then. You're right. When you're not injured, this would be more fair.
Thanks for understanding.
I'll just turn to Grott. I think he may have let me win that.
It looked like you were trying pretty hard.
It was way too easy. It was like a child arm.
Insight check on that. you genuinely thought that it looked like I was trying
Oh,
hard?
yeah, I mean, did it? Because I'm guessing it kind of did.
It looked more like he was taken by surprise.
Okay.
Grott,
I'm going with that, yeah. Then,
would you like to try? Reigning champion?
against you?
Yes!
Okay, sure, but no dirty talking. Nothing like mean.
You
I
have...
can tell you how many within the hope that they're going to eat my head or they're going to stomp my guts into jelly.
Oh, that is horrible. No, I will not do that. No! Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 2. You have lovely tusks. 3! Ha!
Give me just a second here.
He's like, wait, what? What? Oh. What about my tusks?
Okay, I'm looking for it.
You are very strong. Good job. Back into it. Oh, that's 20!
Nice.
Because I don't have any bonuses to that.
You know, Grott,
Oh my god.
You know, Grott, this is way easier than wrestling your siblings. This is like, whoa. It literally, it actually felt like wrestling a child, you know.
Oh, you!
And if
you.
Grott's that kind of person, I would almost say you like, you know, you're, like you do a really good show
Yeah,
of
exactly.
trying to make it look like you're struggling, but you're really not, and then...
Yeah. I mean, growing up with that many siblings and having to try to keep them in order when you're at work with a 10 strength, he probably was.
I was tired after fighting Alvyn. Yes.
Yeah, I bet so. I was tired after trying to keep up with you. I didn't know how I was going to do it. It was just so boring. I almost couldn't stay awake.
Yes. Well, Grott is the strongest, I suppose. So, what should we do today?
Alan, do we need to get you healed?
That would probably be a good idea, yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe there's a temple around here where they do that kind of stuff.
If only we knew a healer.
Yeah, if only we knew someone who could cast healing magic, huh?
Grott.
Yeah, but I'm saving it any kind of wingsies like for tonight.
To heal us tonight?
Yeah. You know, when we're fighting.
How long is it? We're in the same room. You do not need to whisper. I am right here.
You guys are upstairs in your room. You haven't gone downstairs.
I know.
I know.
You're still listening.
Oh, okay.
She's just like, what the, that's just, I know what you are doing tonight. What are, I'm really liking this accent. It's really fun. What, how long does these berries last? Are they, you know, like, you got to, like, 1 minute go?
So the problem with good berry is you can only cure 8 HP in 24 hours with good berries. So it's not a super consistent heal.
Are you wanting
Well,
to?
actually, it's a very consistent heal, it's just not very
Well, it's consistent, it's just not very...
It's consistently slow and a small
You
amount.
can't use it all the time.
Well, you could,
Yeah.
you,
Guaranteed to do some, but it's not very guaranteed. It's not gonna be very much.
could you make some of these berries? How do you make them, by the way?
Well, I just concentrate really hard on nature and, you know, the earth and the way it moves around me, and then these berries come, just pop into my hand. You should try it.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay, I will try this thing. Berries. Prestidigitation. Poof, there are berries. Oh, it works!
Suddenly there's a handful of small berries.
Hey, Alvyn. You should eat those. Good job, Paeg.
Don't eat those. It's a magic trick.
You can create objects as you, upon closer inspection, these berries are not round. They're like almost like someone made berries with not a whole lot of polygons. And they're kind of like, there's lots of berries. Yeah, they're low poly berries. There's lots of flat surfaces that approximate a round berry, and they're kind of the right color, but like they're obviously not actually berries.
I'm just gonna refer to them as squaries from now on.
Squaries. Okay. So
I'm gonna pass on those, actually.
Probably for the best. They are a little sour.
From
Sour, I love sour.
Here, you can have them then.
Just try to eat one.
Okay. So did you?
I'll prestidigitation them to be sour.
We'll say that's okay. You pop a squarey in your mouth.
A squarey. It's kidding.
It's like how do I describe the texture? Have you ever like
A frozen blueberry?
No. It's like maybe I don't know. I've never eaten a frozen blueberry. It's like it's temperature-wise, it's perfectly room temperature. And when you bite into it, the texture, it's very smooth, and it's like there's a slight amount of resistance, and then it kind of crunches. It's kind of like if you could imagine a smooth, solid object with the similar crunching texture as a puff Cheeto. It's like there's very little resistance as you like bite it, and it breaks and it like crumbles into small pieces. Literally, the only thing flavor-wise is just sour. There is no flavor. Like even fruit that is sour, there's also sugar in them too. There is some sweetness, some flavor. It is just sour.
Wow, these are just like my mom's cookies.
You're a poor mother.
That's great.
And as you're chewing it literally kind of like cotton candy-esque dissolves into nothing.
Cool.
And you're just left with the taste of sour. There wasn't even anything to swallow.
Yeah, listen, he's half work. This is what they like. There was some like black pudding in there, and it's perfect.
No.
Well, I can send Alec. Oh, what?
Oh, I was just gonna say, so about the berries you can make Grott. But how long do they last?
Give me a second to look up this.
I believe their potency is 1 day.
Yeah, I think that's right. I just want to make sure. Almost there. Should be. Yeah, 1 day per level. So 1 day right now.
Oh, per level.
So yeah,
That's
you can
cool.
make some of those. I can have a few, and then you can save the rest for if we need it later tonight.
Are you one of those atheist people who doesn't believe in God?
What?
Is that why you don't want to
Where
be
did that come from?
What was that?
Grott, that is very rude!
You could go to the temple right now, and we could just have him heal you up.
I'm not used to people giving away stuff that's free, especially magic.
Well, I don't know that they're going to, but sometimes they do.
Grott, do you know if there is a temple nearby?
Nope. But we could look.
We could.
Worth a shot, I guess.
I mean, we do have time.
I don't know, I don't want to waste any spells before anything's again. Tonight.
How many? Oh, Grott! How many spells can you use? We should figure that out. Alvyn, do you have a limit of spells? Grott, do you have a limit? I have a limit of 3 really tough ones. But
not really spells.
what was that?
Mine aren't really spells.
Oh. You did
Just kinda...
the card trick thingy.
Right, but it wasn't really a spell. I just kind of willed it to happen, and it did. I can't do it very often, though.
Oh. Can you will anything to happen? Like people to fall in love? Or kill?
Doesn't work like that, sadly.
Oh.
It's really lackluster. All gnomes can do it a bit, but it's quite taxing.
Mm.
Well, I only have 3 really impressive spells in a day. Well, 2, and then 1 that I can only do once a day. Yeah, it's only that spell. Otherwise, I have to wake up and I have to meditate.
I have 3 big spells, but I know 6 of them, but I can only use 3 of them. And some of them are pretty fun. I studied illusion, so I know a lot of things that make you think or see things that are not there or did not happen. I can also blind people temporarily.
That should be pretty cool.
Yeah, yes, it is very, very useful in a pinch, especially if there are more than one creature that is trying to get me. This one time, there was a pack of rabid raccoons that were trying to steal my lunch, and I blinded them all. And voila, I do not have any missing fingers.
The raccoons don't want your fingers.
Tell that to the raccoon that ate my brother's finger when we were 6.
You guys must have had weird raccoons.
Oh no, I've started something!
I might have to prepare a session where you guys
That's canon now.
attacked by dire raccoons.
Pegley has a missing finger.
Evidently.
Wait. Just Pegley.
The fastest character ever to die in a D&D session ever, TM.
It was hit 1.
Trademark, patent pending, copyright, restricted.
It was like, oh, he crits. Just don't roll a 4. He rolls a 4.
Instant death.
It's all the way dead. They're gone. Long live Pegley.
He lives on in our hearts,
And
okay?
bingo night.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the life force back.
Oh, freaking 2 hit points, 2 constitution.
So good. Oh. Anyway, enough about my
He's like-
raccoon fears.
I'm just gonna add, that's like hyperbole wizard. Like when you're telling a story,
Yeah.
you're like, oh my gosh, wizards are so weak. My wizard had like a constitution of 2 and only 2 hit points or something. It's like, no, the wizard actually only had a constitution of 2 and only had 2 hit points.
Four. That was the saddest thing too, because it was like, boom, we're in combat. Now you're dead.
English out. I'm dead forever.
Alright.
Okay. Let's find a temple.
Okay, let us go, Alec.
Let's get breakfast.
Alec, Alec, where are you hiding? Stop hiding in the raptors.
He's in the raptors. He's he looks like he's trying to sleep. He's like,
I can see
not
him.
make eye contact. It's like,
Alec. I'm gonna use Mage Hand to scoop him up and bring him towards me. Unless he's out of the 30-foot range.
He as soon as you start grab him, he starts
no, Alec.
and
Alec.
struggling a bit.
Alec.
Oh,
we couldn't roll them.
He wasn't expecting to be grabbed. So.
It's like when you're trying to grab your
you know
cat.
what? Because that's how the die rolls. He's unable to struggle out of the grip of Mage Hand.
Come here, you.
He gets you and he's just giving you this look and pecks you. Not hard. He doesn't draw blood or anything, but it's like he's not happy. He wants to sleep.
I'm going to use the animal thing for Druid.
The animal thing.
For Druid, TM.
Grumpy Owl TM.
What are you doing? What are you doing to my owl?
I have a thing. Druids are endowed with the ability to make animals like them a little bit more than other people.
Okay, is it?
More than people would like Grott, probably.
Oh.
Go ahead and,
Here we go. It is... Well, empathy.
I agree with you, Alvin, though. We should go down to get breakfast.
It's like a diplomacy check. Roll a d20 and add my level and my charisma. I don't want to add my charisma.
Is it like a -1?
It turns out this is actually worse. I'm not using a diplomacy check. I'm using an animal.
I want to see. No, I want to see your character.
Just for reference, if I have to use my charisma modifier, it actually comes out to just a straight d20.
okay,
Let's see here. Oh, that was
yeah, see, unfortunately, you're also trying to influence a magical creature that has an intelligence score. What is the intelligence?
He's
10, I think, at first level. If he's like a normal familiar.
So, I don't think you can use... I don't think you would have been able to use Wild Empathy anyway, because I think it's...
Oh, that wasn't Wild Empathy. That was just my handle.
I know, I'm just... Because Wild Empathy has a -4 on magical beasts with intelligence scores of 1 or 2, but doesn't say anything of higher. So that leads me to infer that anything with an intelligence of 3 or higher, you can't really use Wild Empathy on.
I'm pulling up his
But I'm not sure. So, the general feeling you get, he doesn't warm up to you. He just generally seems grumpy because he got woken up, and he doesn't want to be awake.
Gotcha.
And he was also rudely grabbed from his perch, and he's not super happy about that either.
Good morning, Alec. How have you been sleeping for the past 18 hours? No, it's only probably been 10. Look, Alvin really needs some help. We could really use your help if you could find us a temple.
Your empathetic link with Alec, the only thing you feel overriding, undiminished, just the feeling of deep disgruntlement. He is very disgruntled right now.
Alvin is injured, and we could really use an extra eye out for finding somewhere that he could get healed.
Make a diplomacy check.
Oh!
There's no one here to me saying we should get breakfast first.
Well, we could have him go out and scout while we are eating breakfast. This was I thought. This has turned into an ordeal. I apologize. It's just a straight 20.
This is just...
Good boy, Eric!
Oh.
Do this!
Damn, there it is.
Here's some sugar cubes. Prestidigitation.
Hesitates a long moment, looks at you, still looking at you, pecks one of the sugar cubes, pecks it again, takes little pieces of it, the whole time just looking at you. And then you feel the disgruntlement kind of give way to resignation.
I will open the window.
Hops to the windowsill, turns around and looks at you, and then flaps off. All the while until he fades.
That is the laziest owl I have ever seen.
Let's see. No, he wouldn't. He would actually. You just constantly feel resignation from him because he never leaves the 1 mile range.
Oh, good.
This is fun.
I mean, don't owls generally sleep during the day, though?
He sleeps when I sleep, usually, so that we are on the same schedule. But he actually sleeps about 18 hours a day, unless I actually wake him up. So, yes, and yes.
You're getting the feeling this is a normal morning ritual occurrence.
If I do not wake him, he will get out.
On the forehead.
Oh, what? What?
So you got like the pecking callus on the forehead.
I have learned how to dodge.
No, just wear a headband with like extra padding right there.
If I do not grab him immediately, he will fly out of my 30-foot range of mage hand, and I will not see him for a long time. So, to breakfast.
Okay. So you guys head downstairs. There's a few people eating breakfast, but not too many. It's pretty open.
Thank you, Harry.
Oh, right. Do you want yours done too?
Why not?
Prestidigitation required a lot of effort.
I am very alert today. I feel great with all of my spells.
Okay, so appropriately disguised, I suppose. You are down in the common room. Food available is pretty common fare. It's like a porridge with a small dab of butter on it, and like some like a small piece of bread if you want it, or like a cut of like ham. It's not fancy. This isn't a high class top tier kind of place, but it's the fact that there's meat that you can get is that's pretty nice.
I'll go for the cut of ham for sure. Yeah.
Cool. And it's kind of like you guys are guests at you're renting out a room, so you're just the breakfast is included in the price. We'll just say continental breakfast. You get a bowl of porridge and a chunk of ham.
They don't have a waffle maker?
No waffle makers, unfortunately. Just with the supply shortages and stuff.
This place sucks.
They've had an order in for months, but shipping just takes so long to get there. There's only one company that makes them, and boy, it's just they've got lots of orders.
All the way from like 2,000 years in the future. So.
Yeah, I mean they pre-ordered it really, and it's going to take a while for it to get out of Kickstarter.
What's the funding goal? Jackals and $2 million.
Well, with inflation,
Oh yeah, they only need like 5 pennies in today.
You could probably actually like get something close to a waffle maker with some magical effects.
no, there are actually.
Yeah, you could totally do it without.
I believe there is actually a in the equipment.
Yeah, people make waffle irons that you just hold over a fire.
Yeah.
In the equipment, there is, I think, a waffle iron.
What?
Seriously?
I think
Yeah,
so.
it's not a.
It's just a cast iron thing. It's.
Yeah.
I mean, we're thinking of like powered by electricity, but
Right. Would this be included in my cooking kit? Or
no,
would that be separate?
no, this would be separate.
That would be.
That would be a
Because I'm trying to figure
specialist.
out what all constitutes the 16 pounds that is my cooking kit.
You can fill the cast iron skillet in there.
Well,
Okay, fair enough.
cast iron pot. You probably, I'm assuming, have a small pot and maybe a small skillet, and that's
Yeah.
pretty much all the
Yeah.
rate. In fact, it might just be a pot, and that's a pot and some spoons, and that's it.
Let me find the actual description of it. An iron pot, an iron skillet, a ladle, a skewer, a wooden cutting board, a cutting knife, an iron tripod for the pot, a packet of tinder, and a small selection of local or otherwise easy to find seasonings.
There you go. So most of the weight is going to be in the pot and the tripod, and yeah,
You're seeing
And
why.
partially the skillet.
and partially. Oh, there's skillet too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
missed
the
that.
pan too. So yeah.
Alright.
So no waffles for.
I'll need to save up for a waffle iron.
I mean, yeah, you could get like a masterwork mithril waffle iron.
You also have to start doing push-ups too to carry the thing.
No, if you get it in mithril,
Why
it's
does
light.
mithril waffle iron have its
Oh,
own
mithril
page?
waffle.
Oh my gosh.
Why does what?
That could happen.
Mithril waffle iron has its own page.
Yes, it does.
You're kidding.
No.
Yeah.
It's a real thing?
A mithril waffle iron almost always bears a specific insignia rather than a generic waffle pattern. As with other mithril cookware, food rarely sticks to a mithril waffle iron.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's the best envelope seal of all time. Oh, if there looks on this lettuce, but there's a delicious treat. Found with the king's signet.
Oh no.
Yeah, from Ultimate Equipment. So I guess it's not in this, but
That's-
you wouldn't have a problem finding a waffle iron. That's a normal. That's a normal thing.
Nuts.
A waffle iron with like a hammer baked into every waffle.
Yeah, it's your family. It's a family crest waffle iron.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man.
I'm just imagining, like, would my master like the special branded waffles for breakfast today? Yes, Jarvis, that would be nice. Pop 2.
It's a baller move.
High class inns better freaking have waffle
That's
irons.
right.
The symbol of the inn. Or like
In
the name of the inn or something.
What is it? What?
the name of the inn.
In the name of the
Waffle.
Yeah, the high class inns better have waffle irons where it has like the name of the inn. Like, in the actual waffle.
That's great.
The
Oh.
lion will be waiting for the thing. Can you imagine? There's just like a magical batter pouring station. Perfect.
Like an enchanted.
No, there's just a bunch of unseen servants.
Yeah.
A bunch of unseen servants making waffles.
That would be
Could even be
so
it could even
clever.
be hibachi style, where they're making them right in front of you.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
They do pancake art too. There's
I'm-
pancake art.
Yes.
We're one jacuzzi short of opening the best.
Hey. Okay, campaign plot out the window. You guys are gonna open your own restaurant.
That's the best piece of
And
unconstrained
all of your
ever.
adventures will be to travel to different countries to find new and exotic ingredients. Okay.
Illyria, right?
You are
What?
currently in the nation of Illyria, yes.
Love
I feel
this.
it. Illyria fried chicken. Okay, back to work.
Okay, back out the snap off that tangent back into the. Okay.
I am sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. We're here to have fun. That's what we're here for.
Oh,
Freaking Mitchell Waffle Iron.
we're gonna make it happen. That'll be the level of like
Doubles as
when
a.
we want to go to like a really nice inn in a city. We'll be like, we want one that has a waffle maker.
I'd say that could double as a mithril masterwork light mace in a pinch.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And when you hit people, it leaves whatever pattern.
Leaves the mark.
Just think if you want to be really serious.
Alvin's next weapon. Are you proficient in cooking?
If he puts it in a fire for a little while before, would it become like a flaming?
I mean, if you end up reforging your hook hammer, you could have something engraved in the head of the face. It just.
Might be totally good.
It's a great idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Breakfast
I'm gonna
is
have to do that.
breakfast is plain, but it's filling and it's hot.
All this over breakfast.
Yep. You're all just staring off, daydreaming collectively about,
You know this makes
waffles
me...
are
Better
really
food than murdering.
Yeah. Daydreaming about, what if this place was an international house of waffles?
No, that's good. That'll never take off.
But
We
pancakes.
call it I How.
How? I like it.
You know what? That has a ring to it. Okay.
Great.
Alright, now act the way back.
Has Alec picked up on anything?
How long are you waiting? Are you guys just like eating breakfast, like eating it to eat it and then go about your day, or are you just kind of casually sitting there taking your time?
I mean, I'm casual. I'm very delicately, daintily eating politely.
I'm taking my time listening to conversations around the room.
Okay.
I don't know how to wait time with food.
Just shoves it in his mouth. Let's go.
Yeah, you get like this vibe of almost like Grott almost expects one of you to try to take his food from him, so he's trying to eat it so fast. He's trying to eat it so that no one can take it from him.
Grott, why are you eating so quickly?
There's really
I did not catch
Say
that.
this all the time.
Your mouth. Oh yeah, okay.
It came through like super caramel.
Yeah, it was perfect. It was perfect.
Wow, I'll take it.
Alvyn, as there's not a whole lot of conversation. What few people are in the common room are kind of sitting at their own tables. Some of them look like they might be trying to recover from a hangover. Others look like they're just kind of eating their food and waking up and getting ready for a day. Most of the people look relatively well dressed. You'd guess they're either a merchant or part of a merchant's caravan. Just judging from the clientele that was there last night for the magic show as well.
Alright. I'll try to mask my disappointment.
Yeah.
Alvin, is the food not agreeing with you?
No, the food's great.
Are you thinking about a waffle iron? Because that is what I'm thinking about. I wish this place had one.
Really missed the ones back from Karst.
Oh, you are from Karst? Oh, well, that does not surprise me. most gnomes are from Karst.
You're struggling there.
He's the Irish. Karst. Ah.
Yeah, I'm from Karst. Not even gonna try to respond.
It's just gonna be like, great! It's just gonna turn Australian. Is that... well... Grott, you are from... near
This is not
the mountains? Is that right? You are...
I'm from Grantier.
Yeah! I am from around there too.
Oh,
Yeah, I am...
that's really cool.
I am from the city Alinor, that is at the edge of the endless forest, that is near the mountains, of which you referred to as being from to that to Millak last night.
That was in a very roundabout
Yeah.
way.
Getting my accent.
Grott, you've heard of the town. You haven't. Maybe you've been there. That can be up for.
Yeah,
to
I would
decide.
guess that I probably journeyed somewhere towards there, but probably haven't gotten
My guess is that your family probably. My guess is your father or probably told you like about it, but basically told you shouldn't go there because there's a bunch of elves and they don't really like us.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, not that everybody's super fans, but
Quick question about
there
that.
are
Yeah.
more fans than others.
Could you go back to it real quick?
Yes, sir.
I just noticed something. So on the southernmost shore of Karst, there's that big city.
Yes.
This doesn't have a name.
That's because that city is the city of Karst.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, thanks.
And I also forgot to have that in there, and I need to add it in there. And I saw that some other time in the distant past, but forgot to change it, or at least haven't updated this picture in a while. But yes,
Yeah.
that is the city of Karst.
Alright.
It's about this time that you will feel from your empathetic link a glimmer of like relief and a little bit of happiness, and then so that's that. What changes there?
Can I?
It's just empathy. It's not
empathy.
thought.
Okay.
Not thought.
Excitement and anticipation. Also, hopefulness that he likes me. False hope.
I don't think false hope is something you can feel. I think you feel hope, and it may or may not be false.
It's
I specifically will myself to feel false.
Yeah.
But I feel it anyway.
I feel hopeful,
doubt that.
but then I recognize that it is false.
Yeah.
But I can't help myself.
I'll say that hope with doubt, which he feels a lot, which sometimes means I'm sorry.
Hardcore, that's brutal.
Well, I'll tell Grott and Alvyn. I think that Alec found a healer or a temple of some sort. I can feel it.
Oh,
Great.
let's get going.
Let's just hope they don't charge.
Yeah, let's go.
And the priest churches.
Any idea who the temple's to?
No, it's just all I have are feelings. Alec is not a very good reader, so it is whatever he sees and I feel. My R's are fun to say. Radar?
So in short order, you get a feeling of complete, which would indicate to you that he's here.
Oh, he's upstairs! Or we could just ask for him to come down here. Alec! Crap. Message. Alec! Meet us at the front door!
What was that voice? Okay. That's what you get back.
Oh man, because he did respond.
25 who's.
And then, so I imagine you're going out.
I think we're going out. Are we going out?
I'm ready.
Okay. You guys step outside, and Alec swoops down from the top of the building, lands on your shoulder.
Good boy, Alec.
And he kind of like nudges your hand expectantly.
Oh, here is a
Nudges it more.
piece of ham from the breakfast.
He eats it.
Good boy, Alec. Oh, you spoiled, rotten little adorable owl.
You get the feeling of agreement.
And you know it. Alright, Alec, point us the way. You don't have to fly now. You can just point with your nose, your beak.
Okay.
I'll carry him.
So, point.
Great.
Alec will lead you through the streets. I believe I said you were over here. The Hind's Grove is over here. He's going to lead you through the street. So I'm going to lead you down this street, and then you're going to turn and come all the way and follow that main road for a while until you start to approach this region of the city over here. As you move that way, you notice that you're going up a slight incline. You're going up a hill, and you can tell that the buildings in this part of the city are at a higher elevation than the rest of the city, and they also happen to be much nicer buildings. And
they probably have waffle irons.
Deeper into like the center of the district, right here, there are very large buildings that look almost like miniature miniature palaces or something of that kind. They're very ornate houses, and the other buildings around them are other smaller what look to be houses, still very nice, and more. And as you start to approach there, you see more shops that are definitely look higher price or selling more exotic things. There is more luxury clothing shops. There are carpentry shops, but instead of like the workshop being open and you just seeing someone making like rough tables and stuff, like it's a glass-fronted display room with like very ornately carved chairs, and it's not just furniture either. There's like wooden sculptures and things of that nature, and all of it finely made, that kind of stuff. And before you get to the main center, it's right here. Yes.
What's the general architectural style?
Roman.
Okay.
Greco-Roman.
Cool.
Gotcha.
Just like the thumbnail. Right there. There is a building that does not match the architecture. Instead of white stone with pillars and terracotta roofs and arches, this building is made it's also white stone, but it doesn't have pillars. It's a simple rectangular building, kind of squished in between some other buildings. Like it's occupying. It was designed to fit into a small, kind of cramped spot because that's what they had available. It is a white building with very little adornment to it, but it does have a highly steepled roof, and it is instead of terracotta shingles, they are some kind of darker, like a gray black stone, like slate.
Is this where Alec is pointing us to?
Yes.
We are here.
The wrong guy.
And there is
What, Grott?
I don't know, it just looks kind of deathy to me.
there is the front doors are like two oak doors that open, and they are actually open right now, and you can see inside. The floor is smooth stone. Inside there are you can, from your position on the street, you can see benches, not like pews, but like almost like park benches made out of white stone that are placed in just around the room, and like not necessarily right next to each other, but like so that people could sit on benches and still have a feeling of privacy even though they're kind of out in the open. There are also white large vases or vases with green plants in them that seem to be very well manicured and lovingly maintained. They're very green. Some simple flowers.
Ooh.
And yep.
Is there any iconology to indicate who this is coming to?
Not make a perception check actually.
Can I make a feel if I feel at home check?
An uneasiness check.
Speak
Sense. I guess sense motive. Go for it.
Speak to
Sure.
plants. Ooh, nice.
So-
That's 19. Oh, 21 for sense motive.
Okay.
22.
There is.
Whoa, both of you guys.
Dang.
Awesome.
Okay. So first thing, Alvyn, there isn't any kind of obvious iconography on the exterior of the building. You do see. You can like look through the open doors past the plants and things like that. You see a. Hold on. Oh wait. Dang it! I have this on.
Oh, the other one?
No, I should be able to. I should be able to do this because it should still be in here. Yes, should still.
Oh, I forgot I had the acid darts. I should remember that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be useful, yeah.
Yeah. So see, if you were an acid squid, I would heal you. But we're not always dealt the hand we want. See, look at that. I got a nice
So,
Alvyn,
Alvyn, looking through the door, you spy past the plants, and there's some people moving around. On the back wall, a very large, looks to be a painting, like a mixture of painting and stained glass window.
This picture is so cool.
Whoa.
So this,
Oh, dang.
it is and the thing that you notice most about it and draws your eye to it, despite it being back in this building, you kind of like realize the first thing that strikes you is one, it's very detailed and beautiful, and it's a mixture of stained glass and like painting. It looks like the sword that she is holding is literally glowing with light, almost as if there is direct sunlight coming straight through that glass. But looking up at the sky and looking at the angles, that wall of the building should be in shadow.
Do I recognize?
Knowledge, religion. While you're doing that, Grott, it doesn't. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't get any.
I-
You don't get any feelings of badness from this. It seems like any trepidation you might have may be more of like you're used to being out in nature and having a building like this. Kind of seems out of place to you, just because it's a little out of your experience or what you're accustomed to. But there isn't a feeling of like there isn't any kind of sinister feeling attached to this.
Yeah, what I was kind of going for is just because of where my power comes from. Essentially, I just wanted to see if I felt like this might be a similar source, but it looks like not.
It is not. You do not feel any influence of terrorists.
Yeah.
You don't feel like that. It's almost like a feeling of growth and life and permanence, but this building gives you feelings, I guess, of like structure and stability and protection. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take.
So, okay, my roll was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I was curious if this was any of the gods who I follow / have followed in the past.
Let me.
I would have a better chance at like recognizing them.
You?
I'm guessing this isn't either Terrace the Stormlord or Hyperos.
No, definitely not.
But I'm wondering if it is either Duma or Torgar specifically.
Let me take a look at stuff. Don't look at this.
Because based on the surroundings, I'm kind of thinking like, Torgar, but based on the interior of the building, I'm kind of thinking maybe Duma.
Okay, so no, this is not familiar to you at all.
Okay.
Not familiar. The iconography does not match. Duma does not. They don't build structures like this, nor do those who follow, primal deities. And this does not look at all like what Torgar's meeting houses would look like. They would be more akin to like a smithy in a sense.
Gotcha.
They're like holy smithies.
Holy forges.
Yeah, holy forges in a sense. This is entirely different. And you do see people moving around on the interior. Yeah. Alec is gonna insistently nudge you and point to it.
Yep. I understand, Alec. Yes, I'm pointing. We are here. Good bird.
You get the feeling of agreement, strong agreement.
You are the most magical, amazing owl there is ever.
Who?
You.
Who?
You.
It's a little like, it's a little puffed up.
You.
Grott, if ever an owl could look full of itself, this owl looks that way.
I'm gonna try to talk to him because that never goes well.
Do you want us to go in with you, Alvyn, or do you want to try to do this on your own, or how do you want to proceed? Are you brave enough to go in there?
Well, first I have to ask. You're not a demon, right?
Are you
Grott here with the owl of no questions.
Yeah, what are you talking about, Grott? These are rude things to ask somebody.
I mean, it's just a question. I mean, if he's a demon, we don't want to send him in there. That stuff happens to demons in churches. I think I'll be alright.
He wouldn't tell you if he was a demon. He would just say he doesn't want to go.
I'm really with being a demon.
Are you a demon, Grott?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but I don't know.
Oh, sense motive. Oh my goodness.
Very far.
I'm all those sense motive.
Are you a freaking... I don't know what my modifier is.
Why haven't you put your data into D20 yet?
Plus 3, so 13. Yeah,
15?
15 is what I meant, yes. I
I'm not going to
said
defeat anybody in a deception check.
15. Is Grott a demon?
No.
Oh, you trickster.
Before I go in there, do these injuries look a bit suspicious?
No, you're black eye. You could just tell them that, you had a...
Got run over by a cart for just like a moment. Let's cherish that water congestion. I mean, I am small.
I think that's a great idea.
Everything that could happen.
I was like, I'll pat you on the back and give you a prestidigitation wagon tire mark.
Right across the face.
On the back.
Okay.
You guys are ridiculous.
Just there. No.
Alright, I'll head in there now.
Okay. Do you want? If there is trouble, just holler. I suppose.
Hopefully there isn't. I'm gonna head in. Oh, I'd like to point out I'm not in armor right now. I am just in my.
Oh. Do you want me to hold your bag for you?
I don't have my bag with me.
Oh, even better.
I left it in the room.
Oh,
This is my explorer's outfit with my cloak and my hammer underneath my cloak.
Wait, you have 2 sets of clothes?
Yes.
Are you telling me that, like you don't just wear one clothes all the time?
And never change after killing monsters?
Yes.
As most campaigns
Honestly, if I'm being honest, one of the first things I'm going to buy once we get more, like gold and stuff is a nicer outfit.
are. Ooh, nice.
Wait, they make nicer clothes?
Is this Grott or Jordan asking?
This is correct.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Jordan just chooses not to wear nicer clothes.
Oh.
Okay. So you're entering alone?
That's what he wants.
Okay. Alright. You take there's a short set of stairs, like 4 steps, go up that through the doorway. And as you enter the room, you see parts of it that you couldn't see before. Along the walls, there are little alcoves that have statues of angelic figures. In various different poses, holding various different things. You're not really sure of the symbolism or any specifics other beyond than what you can just see. And there are like candles in front of them. Some of them are lit with people in front. They knelt in prayer, it looks like. You see there are two general types of people in this room, which feels more spacious than what the building looks like. Not like in a magical sense, just in like because of the bright colors and all of that, it's very open. Like there aren't any other rooms. It's just this one room, is what it seems like. It just feels bigger. There are two kinds of people in this place. There are the general common civilians of various states of wealth, it looks like. And there are also people who are moving around. They seem to be like tending the plants, trimming wicks, replacing candles, maintaining things, occasionally talking to people if one of them has like a request. And they are all dressed in white robes with a simple white rope that ties them at the waist. And the whole place, as cavernous as it seems and as wide open as it is, you would instantly feel like this is a place that people talk in whispers. And sure enough, it's like people are talking. You can't hear what they're saying. They're talking very quietly. There's a feeling of reverence.
Is like the name of the person, of like the deity that this is to, like written anywhere?
Nope.
Oh no!
Fantastic. Is there like a Q or something?
A Q like a line, or a Q like a...
Like a line, yeah. No, like a Q is in like the one with 4 useless letters.
No. No, there's not a whole lot of people in here. In fact, it kind of looks like the building is nowhere close to capacity.
Mm.
Can
I get a general sense for like how the white-robed people are like being approached by people with requests?
Yeah, it's straightforward. Some of them will give a gesture, like instead of shouting across the room, they'll like make eye contact and like raise a hand or something, like a, you know, or they'll just walk up to him and start talking.
I'll try to like wave one down.
Okay, easy enough. There's one somewhat nearby that's like just finished replacing some candles that were burnt low, and as they turn and kind of scan the room, you can make eye contact and they'll walk over. Seems to be kind of an older man, very like he's not very tall. He's very slender build. Has very like it's short, straight, steel gray hair, clean shaven. Yes, is there something I can help you with?
Sorry for this seems a bit untoward, but do you by chance offer healing services here?
We do. Follow me. I do not have the skills for something like that. You'll have to talk to the priest.
I'll go with him.
Okay. So he'll lead you through this room, kind of weaving around benches and plants. Huh?
I really hope that this culminates in like the priest turning around. He's got like the classic villain mustache. He's like, "Oh, I eat Pazuzu, give me a particular fan for evil."
According to his desires for destruction, heal him. Yes, actually pulls out a sacrificial dagger and gestures to two small children. Which one would you like to sacrifice for your healing? No. He leads you.
What?
Okay.
I'll take the one.
I'll take the one.
I'll take your whole stock.
Then I've got to bathe in the blood for 7 hours.
Oh my gosh!
No, you just have to wear a necklace of various parts.
Okay.
No,
the easy version.
Yeah. Before this gets more gruesome,
So you can get a tutor.
he just leads you through the room towards the back corner where there is a door set against the wall. And it at first you didn't notice it because it matches the color of the walls. Like it's intended to kind of blend. It's not supposed to be obtrusive. And when you get there, he just turns wait here a moment. I'll be back in just a second.
I'll just nod.
Yeah. So he disappears through the door. And after a brief wait, maybe minute, 2 minutes, the door opens again. You see the same man come out, followed by a younger man, probably in his he looks like he's in his mid-20s, but then you notice his slightly pointed half-elven ears, and so now you're not really entirely sure of what age he might be. Where half-elves are not nearly as long-lived as their elven kin, but certainly keep youth longer than humans do. And he kind of turns and looks at you. You are seeking healing? I am... Let me pull up my notes. I also need to make sure that I make a note of this in case you guys come back here after every time you guys get beat up or something.
That would be convenient.
Uh-huh.
I am Priest Marius Lusala. And I will type that in the chat so you have the spelling.
Nice.
Ah, thank you.
May I ask your name?
Hold on. My notes were deleted from my journal.
Oh no!
Do you have like a secret code name? Just
Have you...
Yeah, my notes are gone that day.
Oh, that sucks.
All of them?
All of them.
Oof.
That's...
Where would they have gone?
Where were you putting them on your character sheet? Oh, in the notes?
They were in my notes tab, but I moved them from there to the journal handout.
Did you save it?
Did you close with
I might have cancel instead of save.
Oh.
Or hit that X instead of hitting save changes. Did you cut it?
Yeah, but since then I put the map into the description.
Oh. Well, your name's Alvyn. In case you're looking.
No, just try to
control
B and see
I already control B.
Yeah.
I already did put the map into my notes.
Okay.
Alright.
Bummer.
Well, that's okay. You've only had one session of notes.
At least it's, not all of the notes.
Well, I mean, there were 2 sessions. Probably Alvin couldn't remember the first session.
Oh, they are filmed, so if you ever need to go back.
You have a video journal.
What was the name of the parchment store?
It was Airwith's Scrolls.
Okay. And then what was the name of Millak's female counterpart?
Oh, he did say her name a bunch.
Helia.
Adari, thanks.
We'll put that.
She's in the city.
And then there was Vox Libertas.
Yep.
And the group that we're going against tonight is called
the Jackals.
Jackals, thanks. Okay, and this dude's name is Marius Lusala.
Does he go by Mary?
May I inquire of your name, Master Gnome?
Name's Alvyn.
Alvyn. Well, please, come in. And thank you, brother. You can go about your tasks. And the older man in the simple white robe kind of gives a short, like, not a full bow, but like there's the hint of a bow, and then kind of heads back. I should also note this man is wearing similar robes. There is a slight amount of there's some small embroidery around the collar and around the sleeve at the cuff, but it's still nothing like, it's not super fancy. And he's going to open the door and head inside, and inside you see a small room with 6 cots on either side of the room, and they are simple white cots. Only one of them is occupied, and there's a curtain kind of blocking view of it, but it definitely has the look of an infirmary. Small, but an infirmary. Now, are your injuries, is this for healing for you or for someone else?
It's for me.
Are these life-threatening, critical? Is it?
They were.
Okay.
They were.
It's been a few days. Still, I had a bit of a run-in with a cart.
Make a deception check.
Oh, come on, Alvyn!
If anything goes wrong.
That's right. We'll rush in there.
Where is deception?
It's
Not deception is bluff. Sorry, I don't know why I was using 5e terminology.
I didn't even notice it was incorrect.
You got the 12.
And he has like
+1, that is not terrible.
Okay. He he kind of gestures you to kind of sit on one of the cots, and he has like a small scroll of paper that he's like writing on. And then when you say you had a small run-in with a cart, he kind of looks up, looks you dead in the eyes.
Yeah.
Yes, a cart, I'm sure. Just looking at you.
Listen,
I will start taking up the shoulder of my shirt to show up the wagon tracks on my back.
From days ago.
I
don't even know.
listen. It wasn't running with the cart. You just happened to be a cart full of bullet kids.
Okay. So he's gonna stand up and start kind of inspecting, looking at your shoulder, your wounds, wherever else you have bruising. And he doesn't say much other than just like, just hums, basically. Goes back to his piece
I'm thinking to myself, it's pretty damn obvious that I was beat nearly to death with a whole bunch of cudgels.
Yeah. So he goes and he, without really saying much to you, starts making notes on his piece of parchment, which is hidden from your view what he's writing. And then after a moment, he kind of lays his pen down, and then he just kind of turns to you and, if I am to give proper medical healing, you need to be honest with me. Now, I'm relatively confident. Well, none of us is perfect. We only strive to be better.
I got jumped by a gang of 6 hooligans being dead with clubs. Well, nearly dead with clubs.
That sounds a bit more believable. Carts don't generally leave well, let's just say there's usually more compound fractures.
Embarrassed is all.
So I can heal this quickly. But there is a small matter of payment. Unfortunately, with affairs the way they are, components for healing spells and potions are not as easy to procure as we would wish. So unfortunately, we've had to begin charging a small fee so that we are able to ensure that we have enough to cure others, especially those who are more critically injured.
Understandable. How much we talking?
Might I ask why you decided to get beat up by 6 ruffians with cudgels?
It's not exactly a matter of deciding when you get mugged, is it?
Deception check.
Oh. You liar! You're lying in a holy place!
Oh, better.
I don't follow this code, so.
Oh.
Alvyn, assuming that is your name, I thought we had agreed to tell the truth. I clearly...
I thought I mentioned I was a pathological liar.
You did. But I am trying to give you the opportunity to be better than that.
Sorry.
So
Gotta compose myself for a minute.
You're good. Getting some sick burns from the priest.
Seriously. They were gonna beat up some sailors. I stepped in their stead.
See? Telling the truth is not so difficult. Well, I think for covering cost of materials, let me see how generous this guy's feeling. Okay.
You know how generous he's feeling to the guy who just lied to him like at least twice.
Uh-huh. $7 gold, I think, would be an acceptable amount.
Ooh. Liar's tax.
Unfortunately, as noble as your intentions may have been, like I said, components are not as readily available as they have been in the past.
Guys, forget this adventure.
What, Jordan?
I'm going to
Forget this adventure stuff, and I know Grott's gonna make his money.
I'm
So
going to make a point of like thinking this over a bit. Can I ask a question first?
Of course.
Apologies if this is untoward. But who's this temple actually to?
He gives like this kind of sad smile. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Amriel is not so common here in the south as
How's that spelled?
Amriel. Is not as common here in the south as she is back north.
Have I ever heard of Amriel?
Knowledge religion.
Oh, great.
Huh. You know, now that the name has been said, it kind of sparks a memory, or not a memory, but it sparks a, like, you know, oh, I've heard of this before. You don't know a whole lot, other than that you've seen similar white buildings in other major cities. You've never really gone inside one or explored it, but you've heard of Emriel and have a general, like, you know, she's one of the pantheon of the nine. A good god. A good goddess, I should say. And just, like, as far as how worship happens and what doctrine is and things like that, it's, you know, it's like your general idea is like law, order, you know, that kind of stuff, but you don't really remember more than just that. As you can tell, her temple here, I'm guessing Karst?
Aye.
Yes. Another place that does not... Emriel's light does not shine as keenly, shall we say. Not that Karst is not a lovely place. Just... she lacks followers there.
Yeah, I didn't really hear of her until I started traveling around.
I assume from TL.
Aye.
Well, it is what it is. We do our work, try to help those in need, and give her word to those who are receptive. It's been harder of late.
Under normal circumstances, I would be more than willing to pay the fee, but I'm fresh out of coin, as it were, and what little I have left would be pretty much entirely consumed if I was to pay the fee. So I'm going to have to forego the treatment. Sorry to waste your time.
He gives you...
I recently just bought a vial of ink, and it, like, ran me for almost everything I had.
Ink is rather expensive. And he's gonna take a moment and kind of like get a little like far off look, thinking, and then he's gonna look at you and continue to think for a little bit. And just about to the moment where it starts to get awkward.
Well, I'm gonna...
Alvyn,
That was perfect.
you mentioned travels. What nature of traveling did you do?
Ever heard of the needle?
The needle? I'm not...
It's a ship.
A ship. I can't say I have.
Traveled on it for a while. Trade ship.
You seem, well, accustomed to conflict and maritime experience. How about I propose a favor of sorts?
I'm open
A
to
trade
favors.
of services?
How many hours community service are you?
Not by hours, though it certainly would be a community service. As I've mentioned, we've had difficulty getting medicines and healing components. You may not be aware, but healing magic is tricky and can be difficult, and it's great for healing physical trauma, such as what you've experienced from your 6 ruffians. But it isn't. It's
Can
more.
I sense motive that mention of 6 ruffians specifically to see if he actually believes me?
Yeah, go for it. He doesn't.
How many ruffians was it?
He doesn't-
Like 2?
No, it was 6.
It was 6. I was telling the truth there.
He didn't say it like.
Oh, that's right, Jordan wasn't there for that.
He didn't say it sarcastically or anything like that. He.
Okay, alright.
Yeah, not with any kind of inflection or anything. Shoot, what was I saying? I lost my train. Oh,
Sorry.
the healing of diseases and more chronic illnesses is, well, far more difficult and requires someone of greater power than myself, which is why we've been having such difficulty. The last shipment that we had coming in was, well, lost to us by mishap. A storm scuttled the ship a little offshore in a shoal, and unfortunately,
That's right, unfortunate.
Unfortunately, this temple is not very equipped to purchase the services of mercenaries or other adventurers or salvage companies to rescue the goods from the ship. And it's really only a matter of time before another storm blows it off the shoal and we lose everything on there. I will heal you now as a sign of good faith that you rescue our shipment of medicines.
Ooh.
Sounds like you got a deal.
Now, I cannot speak to... Oh, you know what, though? He is,
Outside, I'm talking to Grott. Do you think that they are sacrificing him now? Like, should we go in there?
How long has it been?
it's only been like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't been very
seem
long.
like a sacrifice type of place, you know.
Did they see me go into the back room?
No, it's obstructed. If you guys are staying
No,
on the street,
we-
they can see the middle of the room, and then like the stained glass window, and then they can't really see the sides of the room or the back corner. That door back there would be obstructed by plants and benches and people.
I don't know. There are liars in this world, Grott. If you have ever met a liar.
You can't make a feeling lie. This place doesn't feel like the kind of place where they kill people.
I will take your word for it. I don't know what help I could offer anyway. I mean...
Well, now the building across the street, let me tell you, everything's all rusted iron spikes, and
Gargoyles.
there's gibbets, and
Gross.
yeah.
Gross. Alright, that's our conversation.
One second, and you see him kind of he reaches like into his robe and pulls out a small book, leather bound with very not intricate. It's not particularly intricate, but it is nice, like gold and like filigree that goes around the cover. And it's not terribly thick, it's small. And he holds it in like one hand and puts the other hand on top of it and closes his eyes and starts to say something, just like mouth words. And then there's like a almost what's the word I'm looking for? Almost imperceptible like little pulse of light from him. And then there is this faint, almost like you're in a very dusty room and there is a sunbeam coming in through a window, except that it is extending directly above you and above both of you and goes down in a cone. And I need you to make a will save.
What? Oh no! They are sacrificing you. Gonna come out as a devil.
No, it's the opposite.
I rolled really well on that.
As an
I will with a -1.
angel. Wow.
Yeah, he's gonna get possessed by an angel.
That sounds like something Jacob would do.
Okay. Okay, that's the DC. So you feel briefly a compulsion to tell the truth.
Oh,
And you barely manage to regain like control of your thoughts. Like for a moment you feel your will kind of bent to
I'm going to pretend like I am like a lot looser.
okay. I'm gonna need you to make a bluff check.
Oh no.
So he doesn't just want you to be better, he's gonna make you be better.
Wow. This guy.
Okay.
Third time's the charm? Or the death?
He gives after like he opens his eyes and looks at you and then he kind of cocks his head a little bit. Well, I pardon the, shall we say, forwardness. But I need to be sure that before I do this, you are in fact telling the truth when you say you will accomplish this task. But it seems to me that your will is quite strong. So I suppose I shall have to go on faith.
Oh
And
man,
this
this
That's
guy.
what religion's about.
Huh?
That's what religion's about, isn't it?
no, you can be magic with that.
Well, belief in Amriel, belief in the goddesses, putting your trust and faith on someone who has your best intentions at heart, and unfortunately, not every person has those same intentions, and I just need to be sure that my responsibility is to this temple and the people it serves. No offense was meant, just wish to safeguard the flock.
You have my word as a sailor. I'll look for the ship.
And as he was saying this, by the way, this cone of light has dissipated as he's released the spell. And he gives you a long, hard look. Very well. Perhaps this is a test for me as well. And he's going to, once again, pull out the book, and he's going to start mumbling under his breath. And then, instead of a pulse of light from him, there's like a faint glow on his hand, and he reaches forward and places his hand lightly on your shoulder. And let me grab my dice. Oh, that's not the right dice. There. You will heal 13 points.
Oh my gosh!
Holy crap!
This guy is...
Oh, shit.
He could kill you! That's like your health!
And then he removes his hands, puts his book back. Please do this as
I'm
soon as you can.
inspecting my shoulder.
It's perfectly no mark. In fact, there are scars on your body that you remember having that have either diminished or have gone away completely.
Aww.
Like,
I'm not happy about that.
Oh.
yeah.
Side effects.
So, Animal comes out of there, he's like, yeah, I feel fine, but the chicks don't do this anymore.
Yeah, you feel great. No sign or hint of stiffness of any kind.
That's incredible.
Amriel's power is radiant.
The sales pitch.
Alright, so where's this ship?
It is. Let me pull up the map so I can give you a. It is. He's gonna. Basically, it is to the east. It ran afoul of the shoal just as it was passing, just as it was approaching Savaria. It's in the Dragon's Mouth still. There's a bulge of land on the northern coast before it turns back south, and it is fouled there, which is roughly in this region.
Okay.
I cannot speak to what you may find. There are certainly scavengers along the coast. I only hope that they have not gotten there before you do. Or whatever.
How many goods are we talking? Like, what would I transport this kind of thing?
Probably more than a rowboat, but nothing too large. The ship was carrying much more than our supplies. I believe, and he kind of... He actually turns to like there's a desk, and he opens it and goes through some scrolls, some pieces of parchment. 3 crates of various medical supplies and components.
Fetch quest!
Doesn't sound too bad.
I hope not. For your sake and for our sakes.
And again, not to sound too untoward, but can I at least assume that the healing you gave me here, how great it was, will not be the extent of the relationship between us? I'm heavily implying that I'm talking about payment.
Ha. He just cured you.
I will consider it. We do not have much in the way of funding, shall we say. What we receive is mostly donations of our patrons, but you
do render services.
We do. But those are usually simply to cover the costs of those services. We are not trying to make a profit here.
Of course.
I will consider it.
Alright, have a good day. Thanks for your help. And
Thank you for your help.
How long has it been there?
Several days, 3 days, I believe.
And are the only next storms coming through?
I do not know the whims of the gods.
Alright. Pleasure meeting you. I'm gonna make the head out.
Grott, that's it! I am going in there! We are not letting our friend die!
Are you heading straight out, Alvyn?
I'm gonna, stop and look at the, stained glass window a little closer on my way out.
Okay.
Take the loop around the door.
Gonna storm in there.
Okay. You
I'm coming with her.
You two stomp your way up the steps.
Alvyn! Where are you?
You hear that ring clearly across this open room as both of you, pretty much every eye just turns to you in various runs the spectrum from confusion to curiosity to annoyance. It runs the whole gamut. And probably some embarrassment from Alvyn.
Maybe.
A lot.
Oh!
A lot of very noticeable embarrassment.
Wow. This place is awesome.
That's how they get you, Grott!
I'm motioning them to, quiet down.
Oh. Oh,
Have you seen this place?
he's right there.
I'm going to move Dexter to the door and like try to grab them both and get them both.
Okay.
What are you doing?
You see,
We were worried about you.
Alvyn, like, as you are, like, making your move towards them, like, I'm guessing with a pretty purposeful stride.
Oh yeah.
You notice and make eye contact with one of the people in the white robes who look like they were just about to go over there.
I'm sorry.
And they just give a small smile and a nod, and they, turn back to what they were doing.
Probably, look at these trees. They're just like little trees.
You're grabbed by the wrist and dragged.
Oh yeah, because he's so small. Alvyn!
Yeah, both of you are dragged out of it right
Alvyn!
Oh no.
Tell us what happened.
Are we outside?
Yeah. Yeah, you're outside.
I'll pull the shirt out of my shoulder.
Whoa, what the? You look,
Smooth, healthy skin.
smooth, healthy skin. You look younger. You do not have as many scars as you did.
I don't know how many of those scars are visible to you.
I was just on the... I mean, I don't know. Did I tend to... I didn't really tend to you.
So I will say, I have several, like, pretty large scars on my forearms.
Those have not disappeared. They've diminished,
Okay.
but they have not disappeared.
Okay, good.
And they've really only, like, anyone else would probably think, oh, those are, like, they didn't change, but you're intimately familiar with them.
I know. Okay.
Alvyn, why are you taking off your shirt? There is a temple right here.
I was showing you my shoulders.
Yeah, when I say that scars disappeared, I mean, like, very small scars from, like, maybe you were sharpening a knife at one point and, like, cut your finger, and it just left a thin scar or something like that.
Okay.
Thin scars.
I'm less upset.
Yeah, it's not your pride and joy scars. Those are fine.
Who healed you? That's impressive stuff. I've never seen somebody get healed that effectively.
Praise the Almighty.
What's an Albriel?
You can, if you want to, make a knowledge. You can make a knowledge religion check, or totally fine if you want to just say that Grott has never heard of Nor, and that's probably pretty likely.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you he's gonna fail.
It's
5 minus 1. It's 4, right?
Oh!
Yeah, Amriel. It's a nice enough sounding name, or whatever it is.
What is it? Is it like a big rock or something?
Yeah, it sounds like a really nice rock.
You nailed it.
Oh. Wow, that never happens. He starts smiling.
Oh.
I looked like I was about to, correct, but then decided against it.
Did they charge you any money?
Money? We got a jump though.
What?
Does it pay me?
Was? Was ist das?
Are they hiring us for our magic show? Alvyn, you are amazing!
This night only at the Amriel Temple. The one, the only.
My ship's got Scully offshore. I offered to go look for the form.
Oh. By yourself?
I mean, you lot can come with me if you'd like.
Right.
But I don't want to drag you into any commitments.
Right now?
Not right now, no, I really have commitment for tonight. But I'm thinking after that, we might want to check out the ship.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm thinking they might be willing to offer us a reduced rate on freight. Now taking on your accent, gosh dang it.
that is how does it feel? No! I would There's a switch. Yeah. Let me hear your French accent.
No thanks.
It is hard to get into.
They might offer us a reduced rate on healing services if we help them out with this. So.
I think that we are probably going to need them with the things that
It seems like a worthwhile investment.
Right.
So how do rock fits so good at healing?
Grott falls back on the rock.
It's a really big rock.
Oh, okay.
It heals through brute force.
It clicks.
It's all more about quantity than quality.
Oh man.
Well, should we? Is there anything else that we need to do before this evening's adventures?
I'm gonna go talk to someone about renting a ship.
We will come with you. Alec, if you would like, you can go back to the inn and you can go sleep in the rafters if that is what you would like to do. I will wake you for the evening.
That sounded a little Transylvanian there.
He's like not even. I imagine that as soon as I address him in this manner, he just immediately starts flying away.
Oh yeah, without a second's hesitation.
He's
It's like
"Eh."
really like you say, if you'd like to head back, he's gone.
Yep, great. Yep.
And you're just talking to your empty shoulder.
Okay, after careful consideration of one
I'm assuming you left the window open.
I did.
Okay.
After careful consideration of one symptom and a Transylvanian accent, I've concluded that it's too fun not to make Grott Transylvanian.
Are you gonna make him Transylvanian?
I'm here to number 3. You drink to owls and you don't have to talk to them on their own level.
It's painful and amazing at the same time.
You'll find it. If you look hard enough, you might get the cheese.
Say the earth provides.
It provides.
There's no way this voice should be coming out of a half-orc your size.
No.
The icing on the please.
Oh, I feel a headache coming on.
So good. We have too many easy accents to just like accidentally mingle.
Oh boy.
We'll all just have the same accent by the end of it.
The Transylvanian, the crappy Transylvanian one is totally just a mix of all of them.
It's true.
Alright.
Oh my gosh.
Is it time to beat up some jackals?
Yes.
If you guys would like to,
He said he's gonna go get a ship, but
oh yeah.
I was gonna see what it would take to rent a ship.
Okay. So
we can do that tomorrow. After we have survived. Or not. We do have a day.
Why not?
Okay.
So
we will come with you.
It's before they've hitched.
It's too good.
Okay, so you're going to go to the docks. Let me bring you back to
I think we're gonna do that tomorrow.
tomorrow. Okay. So are you just gonna head back to the Hind's Grove and allow time pass? Hit T on your controller or in your keyboard.
Yes,
and
let's fast forward.
Fast forward.
Sounds good.
Stand
cool.
I
there.
swear, if there's an enemy nearby, I'm gonna be afraid.
I'm sorry, you can't wait while there are enemies nearby. What?
Oh crap.
You can't wait while they're in combat.
Wait, yeah, don't you love that? You can't fast travel while you're in combat. Like, I'm in combat right now? Oh crap!
Straight up, Lydia almost killed me and all of my bloodline in about 45 seconds.
Oh gosh.
So, yeah, just real quick, while we're letting time pass.
While time is passing.
Yeah, so I was playing Skyrim, and it was my first playthrough. I was an archer. super good with the bow. And I was wandering through these marshes, like the ones outside of Riften, you know, where it's like there's no waterfalls.
Oh, you mean giant territory?
Yeah, well, it was just giants that day.
The hot spring
He
area.
was my first companion, and I was just kind of letting her do her thing. I learned that day that you never make the mistake of handing Lee a bow to carry.
Oh.
She managed to, so we were walking through, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, there's a red dot. I turn around, 2 giants after us, along with like 3 or 4 mammoths, because Lydia shot the mammoths.
Oh,
And if you shoot the mammoths, the giants go for you. I was like, oh crap, Lydia, we gotta go.
We
I
gotta go.
started to get her up. She's still like wildly firing with the bow, and I'm like, Lydia, get over here. I turn around and I start running, and then all of a sudden I see, oh my gosh, there's another red dot. What is it? I look up, it's a dragon. Lydia shot a dragon that was flying by. Oh no! I don't know if you know this, but in some of the random encounters, all Louis follows dragons around.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Oh no!
Oh.
So, there's 2 dragons fighting. Lydia manages to piss both of them off while we're getting chased by 2 giants and 2 men.
So this is like
First encounter!
this is
I just start booking it. I'm like, if we get to that waterfall, we'll give up.
this is like
Oh my god!
this is like crap hit the fan and then was flung out of that fan and kept hitting progressively bigger fans.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done.
Oh no.
I'm just booking it across this marsh, and Lydia's kind of following me. Finally, I'm like most of the way there, and all of a sudden, a bear comes out of nowhere and knocks me. And I was just like, what did you do, Lydia?
What have you done? Stop shooting things!
As the dragon swallowed her, I'm only imagining she tried as hard as she could to yell, I swore to carry your burden. Across that stupid bird.
Oh. For the love of Talos, stop trying to kill things!
It was just like, I like turned around and Lydia's getting clubbed to death by 2 giants. I'm just like, holy crap, run! And then I turn around again and I get hit, like, I almost get hit with this breath weapon from a dragon. I'm like, holy crap! And then I see another dragon fly by and do a spell. I'm like, oh no!
Just so you know,
I just start
you,
running.
you broke Jess.
I'm in so much pain!
No, companions in Skyrim are just borked. They're so bizarre.
They really are.
You remember?
My back
Well,
hurts!
when we finish this session, I'll have to share with you a couple of funny companion stories. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Jordan,
Wow.
Jordan, did you survive?
Did I survive? Yeah.
Did Lydia?
No.
Oh
I
my
just had to
gosh!
reload. I just reloaded. And I saw her pull out the bow. And I immediately stood up. And then I just ran like hell.
Oh my gosh! I had so much pain.
We're just like, I think if I remember right, after we got away from the giants, for the most part, I just remember turning around and seeing Leah aiming her bow in the air, and I'm like, what's that about? I just keep running. And I turn around and there's 2 dragons chasing. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Jordan, thank you for telling that story. Oh my gosh, my abs and my back hurt so badly. Oh my gosh. That's like the hardest I've laughed in like my whole life, Jordan. amazing.
It was weird that I really thought like something was wrong with my game.
Oh,
At that point, I was like, "Do I build the computer wrong? What's up?"
Yeah! What, you said it was your first encounter or one of your first?
It was my first playthrough. It was my first time going to Riften, so I couldn't fast travel.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, everyone's first experience near Riften is boom, boom, boom. What's that sound? Oh crap! Boom! And suddenly you're 100 feet up in the air because a troll or a giant just
Oh my gosh.
clubbed you.
That just sounds like a bad day.
am I the only person who traveled to Riften from Ivarstead and not
Iverstead?
Ivarstead and not the city north
Oh
of
my
Riften?
goodness.
No, I traveled from Iverstead too.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Because you don't run into giant territory if you go from Ivarstead and you follow the road.
No, I've run into giants still.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
There's that big open plain where you have to go through to get to where it's just like it's water all over the place.
Yeah. I think it was only the once, and that's kind of why I was so surprised by it. I eventually just learned to take carriages to the cities. I pay for the carriage and be like, okay, now I can fast travel. It's fine.
Yep.
My idea was, this will be fun. It'll be like a good way to unlock locations. I can kind of see some stuff on the way. It's a big game. It looks nice. This will be great.
It's also a good way to burn 7 hours and never actually get to your destination because you get sidetracked.
I wasn't really that far away. I just so happened to be in Bad Guy Central with a trigger happy party.
Shooting dragons!
Yeah, the companions are not smart.
A bear attacked you.
The only one that's not going to get you in a bunch of trouble all the time is, what's his name, Cicero, the creepy one?
Oh my.
But then you gotta put up with him following you around, breathing down your neck and whispering awful.
Yeah, literally the epitome of creepy clown following you around.
Wow.
He's a jester who's absolutely insane. Anyway.
Okay, are we getting to the bandits? We go to the Ratwall,
Yeah.
we meet the guy.
Hold on, no, you
we do
guys
this
are
stuff.
looking. No, you're not looking.
Oh,
for shit,
right.
You guys are passing time.
Okay.
So time passes.
Yeah, Grott tells us this amazing story.
This
Paeg-
time.
Paeg is laughing the hardest she's ever laughed in her life, and that's saying something. Oh.
Which is a little disturbing because in that setting it would be a story of possibly about a real person.
Oh, my sister Lydia. This is funnier than when I made my brother disappear in the Feywilds. Oh, Noah's face! Noah's face!
Too soon.
Okay.
Oh.
I spent 200 years there.
Well, yes, my fault, but not my problem.
The heartless side of Peglia.
She's learned to live with it. He's either alive and happy or dead, and it doesn't matter because she can't get to him anyway.
This is.
He's either alive or happy or dead. It doesn't matter because he can't complain about that anymore.
That's right. We were kids.
Okay, so time passes. You guys head to the Ratwall at roughly the time.
Yes.
Right time?
Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
Similar conditions to the previous night. Not a whole lot of people. Streets are pretty dark until you get to this. Until you get close to the central keep, the central citadel, and then there's street lights, and there's familiar figure of Millak leaning against the wall. And as you approach, he comes off the wall, puts his pipe away, and kind of
I made
walks
my
up.
armor.
Yeah, I assume.
With my backpack.
Do you want me to hold your backpack for you?
Oh, it's pretty heavy.
I'll use Mage Hand to help.
Still pretty heavy.
Okay.
I I mean, you held it before.
I do not mind. I do not have anything except for what I am wearing.
Do you have enough carrying capacity for an additional 44.5 pounds?
I'm pretty sure. No, I think it's 33 pounds that it would make me encumbered.
Did you just say 44.5 pounds for an extra gear?
Like,
Yeah, you'd be encumbered.
Yeah.
What of it?
We could share the load.
Alright.
Adventurer life.
I could carry some of those pots and pans for you. Or not.
Wouldn't really make that much of a difference at this point.
Great, let's go.
What's your carrying capacity like, Grott?
Yeah.
It's not great.
Oh. But you're huge.
Can a light load support 60, or can a light load support an additional 44.5 pounds?
I don't think so. Let me check here.
I'll just carry it, it's fine.
Just drop it before we get into a fight. That's a
That's the plan.
There you go.
That's the safe and secret. It's like tucked in the corner.
Ooh.
So,
Dreary night. Is it wet and cold out?
it's not wet and cold, but that is something that I will use.
I did not expect that story to make me laugh so hard, Jordan. I was literally like if you've ever laughed so hard that it hurts, it was to that point.
I don't have to. I've been hit by 4 giants several times. Everything hurts now.
Oh.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where I just had to stop and take inventory of what exactly was going on. It was like, I think the 3rd time I saw it. Yeah, I'm right.
Oh my gosh.
It's actually incredible.
Oh. Yeah, I'd be worried I broke the game too. Be like, is this like the boss level? Did I just accidentally unlock something? Like. Give me that bow.
Okay, I can't find I'll just stop that quest. I'll stop looking for music for this a little bit. Okay. You see as Malik approaches you and you notice he's not wearing the same clothes he was the night before. He is wearing maybe some adventuring gear that hasn't been worn for a little while. Maybe he had it when he was a little bit thinner. But he has do I not have? No, he's right here.
I've got my red hair back, by the way.
Okay.
Your red hair back?
You hit the
Permanent's no longer
this
blue.
one.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Okay. So he's wearing
Only if he asks for it will I make it happen.
he's wearing more clothes more built, more suited for an adventurer. And Alvyn, you would recognize this specifically, but Paeg and Grott, you notice he has an axe on his hip, and Alvyn, you recognize it specifically as a boarding axe.
Oh.
Boarding ships.
Something that you are accustomed to with your background in sailing. All right, Ready to go?
Interesting choice of weapon.
It is familiar. I've spent some time at sea myself. Though that time is quite a ways behind
Oh
me
my god.
now.
Gosh dang it. I lost my notes again.
Oh my god.
No!
What is going on with that?
Maybe
I'll
it's.
deal with this later.
Oh,
I'm gonna
gosh.
take notes in a different program.
Yeah,
That's unfortunate.
I'm sorry about that. I wonder what's going on.
No, it's fine.
That time is, well, I thought adventuring was a bit behind me, but yeah, it hasn't been so long since I've lifted my axe that I've totally forgotten how to fight.
I-
good, because I don't know.
Yeah!
Really? You have the look of someone who has done quite a bit of fighting. Or maybe that is just because you are large. But
No, I mean, I know how to wrestle and stuff. And I know how to, like, you know, if someone steals your toast, you punch their head in, and, you know, you kick and you growl and all that, but, like, not really with weapons.
oh. Well, let's hope that he's looking a little concerned.
Be fine.
Let's hope that this goes well then.
He is very strong. He won in an arm wrestling competition earlier. It'll be alright.
Okay. You are prepared? You have everything you need?
Yes.
Right?
Okay. Follow me.
I've got
And are you guys in just normal clothes? You're in-
my black cloak with red hair.
You may want to have like a hood to put over your hair.
Oh, I can
You
just.
want to be as inconspicuous as possible.
Oh, then I'll just release it, I guess, to make it black hair, and then I'll put it up.
Oh, that helps too. But okay.
Oh, I'll make my face black.
Okay.
Now I'm super shadow.
Peg the shadow.
Yes.
Okay.
That was like
He's
great.
gonna lead
More
you-
art.
He's gonna lead you west in
A black shadow.
generally. He's gonna
No,
follow.
alright. Oh, wait, no. Do I have that image? Hold on.
What? A shadowed elf.
Actually.
I guess I would look like a drow. So
Kind of the idea, right?
yeah, just to really blend.
Okay. So he is going to lead you down the main road, and then he's going to make a turn and start going into like alleyways and side streets in a very twisting and turning, generally in this area of the city over here. And then you guys will come to the end of an alley where there's like a little interior courtyard. It's not big. It's very, very small still. But there's like a little opening, maybe like in between buildings, probably maybe 40 feet by 50 feet, where there's some basically like a little courtyard that's just been consumed by the buildings, and there's doors and things that open to it. And in the center of the courtyard, there's a drain for the sewer system, presumably. And right at the edge of this alleyway, Malik's gonna kind of stop and hold up his hand, and he's just looking around.
I will look too.
Make a perception check.
He is looking for, but I will look for things.
I will also look.
Perception check. Okay, everybody perception checks.
Oh, 20.
I also have dim light vision, if that helps.
Well, you're not 20, so that helps a lot.
Whoa, Alvin. You see everything. I got normal 20.
This courtyard is pretty heavily shadowed.
How you doing,
What
Grott?
light there is,
Did Grott drop? What'd you roll?
I'm looking for it. Where's perception?
Nice.
It's pretty heavily shadowed. What lighting there is filters through windows and under doors of the surrounding buildings. But I'll say the moon's pretty full tonight and overhead, so you're able to see. Grott, I believe you have dark vision anyway.
Yes, I do.
And Alvyn, with your dim light, that's fine. You have low light vision. Actually, every single one, none of you are full human, so everyone has either low light or dark vision.
Nice. Made for this.
He's gonna say, looks clear to me. Alvyn and
Hold up. Sorry, guys, I'm prepared for this. Everybody getting close.
Okay.
Are we gonna try to sneak?
well, okay. Here is the Jackals operate out of many places, but I'm relatively certain that this little outpost, how you say, I think outpost is the right word. Outpost is where they are holding these people. They are down in the sewers somewhere. I do not think they are very far away, so we shouldn't have to search through the sewers very much.
So you want me to cast Pass Without a Trace or not?
What does that do?
So, it just makes you really, really, really sneaky.
Okay, so GM to Jordan. I want you to recognize that Pass Without a Trace for Pathfinder is very different from Pass Without a Trace from 5e.
I learned that the hard way.
It makes you undetectable. It removes your scent
And steps.
and footsteps. It does not it doesn't give you bonuses to stealth. It just no scent and no tracks.
Okay. I mean, if we want to do it, I'm offered.
Maybe save your spells for something else. Unless this is a freebie, then that will be fine.
No, it's not a freebie.
Well, it looks clear to me, and to Grott 15. All three of you looking around. There's no one else, at least looking at this courtyard. You can see lights from, like I said, from around shutters on windows and around door frames, but there's no one else here.
Suspiciously so?
I mean,
it is night.
How wild does Alvyn let his imagination run? It is it is nighttime, but would Alvyn expect to see anyone here with knowing that this is a suspected place for a street game, or at least entrance?
I think Alvin would suspect to see some people. At least.
You don't see anyone.
At least in the general vicinity.
Yeah.
Only if they were a big party of, there was a big group of people. So maybe they're a very small group of jackals.
I unfortunately do not have much information on the exact size. They do a good job of hiding their tracks. It was quite difficult to find this place. But I do not think that wherever they are holding these people, I do not think they are far away in the sewers, because one of the other times that I have scoped out this place, I noticed two that went in and then came out shortly thereafter. Same two. So whatever it is that they were doing, it could not have been too far away.
Right. Alec, I want you to...
Quick fire water real quick.
Oh, go ahead.
When we had raided this unit next week, we're going down into the sewers.
What?
I'm sorry, does that change anything?
No. That's fine.
I'm sorry, must have slipped my mind. It was not meant to be a deception. Yeah.
Alec, you go ahead and you go guard. Get up in those rafters up there. If I wander too far, I would like you to fly around and see if there is another escape area. And if there is trouble, I will let you know. And if there is a quicker way out, please give a happy feeling. Okay, good job.
So let me get this straight. You're asking Alec to determine avenues of egress away from this little courtyard, right? You're asking him to find paths away from this place. And in the event that you are leaving, to indicate which path is the best path.
Yep.
Okay, I just gotta work through all of what you just said.
Sorry.
Okay.
Basically, if I get in trouble and we're running through the sewers, I want him to be above ground, letting me know where an easy way out is. That's all.
Oh, find other sewer entrances.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so like if I get stuck in there and I'm just like, trouble, then he can be like, over here, you know, like he would help me out. I don't know if he'll do it. I don't know if he'll care or can do it.
I don't know if you're empathetic. I don't think your empathetic link has any kind of direction to it.
I don't think so.
So
You feel happy when you see
I'll have to think about that.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that.
Okay. All right.
Well, if that is everything, no sense in waiting any longer, I think.
Let us
I think Grott should roll perception checks real quick.
go.
Grott shit.
I did.
Okay.
No, now another one.
Oh, now?
Oh,
22.
Against that.
Okay, well, Paeg succeeds.
Okay.
Or is it a
Alvyn
sense?
is notably more tense.
a perception check against your.
Like, how tense? Like he's excited tense or like he's getting anxiety tense?
Grott is not
Anxiety
tense.
tense.
He... With a bunch of pansies!
This is no magic. Grott has a +7 to perception.
Grott, you know, you're really thinking about, like, you're trying to work through the instructions that Paeg was giving to the owl, and you're, like, trying to work through what that means, so you don't really notice anything.
I'm going to get right down next to Alvyn and whisper in his ear, "It is okay. I am with you this time. You do not have to worry. You are not going to get hurt again. We will take care of you. We even have a healer." I don't know what accent this turned into. It's
A little bit.
like Spanish. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a little like
Spanish.
mainland Spain.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is going to be. You will be alright.
Way to get beat up again if that's what you're talking about.
Well, you just look a little tense. Are you afraid of sewers?
Are you doing this, like, are you trying to be stealthy about this?
I'm just whispering to Alvyn specifically. I'm
Okay.
leaning down and whisper to him. Yeah, you can be stealthy. It's fine.
Okay, make a stealth check then.
Okay.
And go ahead and make a perception check, Grott.
Gosh. Can't even have a 15 silent conversation. This is my buddy. We bonded.
We've been through. I saw him go through crap. What'd you get?
15.
15.
There
Okay,
you go.
Grott, you are able to perceive this conversation. Malik takes no note of it.
Are you afraid of sewers?
I lean down extremely far. I'm like, "Hey guys, how's it going?"
Yes or no?
Sorry, what was the question again?
Are you afraid of sewers?
Who the hell's afraid of sewers?
Look, are we going in there or not?
Yes,
Is this-
let's go. Okay, go.
Let's go.
Okay.
Alvyn, help me lift this sewer off.
Ooh. Mage hand will also help.
Sure thing.
This heavy iron sewer grate is exactly 5 pounds lighter.
Excellent.
That was the 5 pounds pushed over the edge.
Hey, to Alvyn, every pound counts.
Go ahead and make a strength check for me.
Hey, my exact score.
Hey.
Let me check. Hey, wow, look at that. You guys got the same number. But I'm pretty sure he's much stronger than you.
Probably.
So he's got a pretty beastly strength score. You guys are able to lift this iron grate, which, oddly enough, doesn't make a sound. And it does have hinges that it's on. It's meant to be able to be
I'm going
opened.
to feel the hinge, see if there's any grease or something.
Very greasy. And you can even see as, like, water that's just kind of on the ground, like, when it touches the hinge, it just beads up and rolls right off.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you were to, and you
This
feel...
stone is nothing but well. I say quietly.
Yes, well, the faster
There's no butcher about this.
the faster we can get to take care of this, the sooner it will be over.
Let's go.
And there, you guys are holding it open, and Malak's going to gesture you guys to go down. And there is a ladder with well-worn rungs. They're not, they're like rusty on the side a bit, but the rungs themselves are pretty smooth.
Okay.
And
Good lord.
you descend down into the darkness and the smell.
Do I need to make a will save?
If I'd say, yeah, go ahead and make a will save for me. It's not gonna be.
Oh my gosh!
You're
my
gonna be
heart's,
able
like,
to.
breaking for this. No, I don't even know what's going on. And I'm like,
You're not gonna like. You can will yourself down there, regardless of the results of the
Okay.
roll. But it's gonna determine.
Yep.
I'll say determine a condition.
oh
No!
Well,
no,
that could not
I can't make that up.
have been more perfect.
Zero.
Here's
Oh my gosh!
here's
I have
okay.
a -1 will and I
Oh
couldn't
my
feel.
gosh!
Oh boy.
There is something wrong with him. Oh no!
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I can't believe we built 2 characters that are gonna die.
No!
We'll go with it.
Peglia will protect you.
Yeah, that didn't work out so great the last time.
Yeah, the other way I got sent to the Feywild by the same character.
Pattern.
We'll be alright. We'll be alright. I helped in your battle last night, the 2 nights ago that
Okay. Let me
I blinded the dude.
let me do something here.
Oh my goodness. What is going on? Does Alvyn like stop on the rungs?
Make another will save for me.
No! No!
That's actually good. That one's actually good.
Okay.
Okay. So
I
here's
can't believe that.
okay. So here's Grott and Peg. You descend down these rungs down into the sewer. Alvyn, you are here, holding this grate with Millak, and Malak's like, okay, I think I can hold it myself. You go next. And you're looking at this hole. It's dark, and you can hear water running down there. You can smell the scent of the sewer. It's not lovely. It's not great, but and you take like your first move and you put a foot on the rung and you start to move down. And at first you think I can do this. This is not the same. It's not the same. And as soon as your head like passes below the level of the street, you're brought back to that day, and it feels the same. Like the walls are going to crush you. Like you need to get out as fast as you can. You are panicked.
No.
But as this feeling overcomes you, and as the sudden like burst of adrenaline and like animal instinct of like flee as fast as you can, and you start to move up the ladder again with like frantic pace. Malak's hand rests on your shoulder, and for a moment you try to like fight against it, and it very firmly like holds you in place. Very firmly holds you in place, and you look. I have seen that face before, and I do not know what it is you fear, but you have people with you that will keep you safe. Nothing will happen. Nothing will go wrong. And you feel the panic recede, the strong, reassuring voice. You are still shaken,
Okay.
but you are not panicked.
What does shaking do?
You'll take a -2 on attack rolls, saving throw, skill checks, and ability checks.
For how long?
Also makes a mean martini, but
I know how. Oh my god.
You're
And
quick.
the sewers are pretty dirty, so it'd be a dirty shaken martini.
You are the.
That was quick.
You have
Props
That
for
was
how quick
really
that was.
hilarious moments, Jordan.
So,
Oh my gosh.
after a long pause in the dark and relative quiet of the sewers, Paeg and Grott, you finally see Alvyn descending, and then you hear a soft, like, clang of metal on stone, and following him down the ladder is Millak. And when they get down there, Millak just, again, rests a hand on your shoulder. Alvyn gives you a look, gives you a nod. All right, let's get this over with. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
No!
That's where we'll pick up next time.
I want to talk to Alvyn! No!
Oh, man.
Alvyn?
Oh, man.
oh boy.
Ah.
This is gonna be.
No. We can go a little longer. Just a little. Stay up late.
I mean, the GM inside me is like, oh, yeah, good cliffhanger. Like, But if you want to talk to him a little bit,
Okay, please. Okay.
Alvyn, real quick before you start talking about Alvyn, how are you trying to control your, like, any visible signs of distress?
Very much.
Okay, so go ahead and make a bluff check.
I'm also putting a lot of effort into trying not to slip right now, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. So go ahead and make a bluff check, and there will be some penalties to it. Okay. Yep. What did you?
A nat 1.
Nat 1. He seems
Ooh.
like normal stoic Alvyn.
How many of us have there been tonight? It just seems like
An inordinate number.
yeah.
Right before a battle.
I don't know. I mean, you guys, all the nat 1s have been in a way that has made for some really great RP. So,
Alvyn, you look much better. I am very glad that you are.
Grott,
Not
go ahead and make a
hesitant at all.
perception. Go make it a sense motive.
Let's just get this over with.
Sense,
Oh.
yeah.
14.
Yeah. Alvyn seems.
No! Why are you such a good liar? there!
Seems stalwart. That is with the -2.
No!
Yeah, it does.
No!
Yep.
No!
Okay.
You've got an armchair therapist after your blood.
So that, I guess, is where we'll leave off. Alvyn seems to be his normal stalwart self.
That's worse.
We have no idea what's going on.
Alvyn, you are doing everything in your power to maintain your control.
Dang.
Whew. Whew.
The cleric in me from the other games to protect is coming out a little bit here. Like, just like someone is in distress, I can help them, but I don't even know. Oh, it's so good. Man, I am excited to. Hopefully he'll open up to us, because I don't think we're gonna find out any other way.
I would prefer to see him opening up type. I don't see him kind of like, singing Kumbaya and then...
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I had a bad experience.
I just get so scared.
I'm afraid of the dark. I need a nightlight. Man, I am very intrigued, Noah, by your character. Don't do that with the raised eyebrows! No! No!
I have a feeling I know where this is headed.
Oh, do tell, Grott.
I don't want to spoil the surprise, and if I'm wrong, there's no upshot for me. Thanks for going along with me there, Zach.
Yeah, no worries, man. I get it. Gosh. It's helpful.
So good.
It's helpful GMing for people who have also been GMs, because I can, like when stuff like this is occurring, I can feel confident in trusting you to yeah. It feels pretty collaborative, which is nice. Right. Oh man.
Well,
That feeling is definitely unusual, by the way.
Well, I'm glad. I hope I definitely have the desire to do a good job here, and I want it to be believable and engaging.
You 100% are.
Believable
Yeah,
and
it's
engaging.
good.
So
it's good. It's, oh my gosh. My favorite, some of my favorite. Oh, go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
Any GM is willing to work with you, and they'll do things the way you want to do them, but also work in what they want. I appreciate that. Where it's there's structure and there's also freedom.
Yeah.
yeah, my philosophy on it is that you know your character and I know the world, and we got to make those jive together, because ultimately what I think your character should do is erroneous, because it's your character. I don't want to have any kind of control over decision making or how your character is played. I just control everything else, and
It's good.
I want things to be logical, so that you can have this suspension of disbelief and immersion. So I want things to happen in a way that makes sense, that's reasonable.
So help me if the wizard has to save everybody, though, because that should not be the way. It's not normal.
Paeg accidentally sends everybody into the Feywild. I saved you.
I don't have control over it. We just found a portal, okay? We were playing with it. He went in willingly. He just didn't come out. So
you meet a very elderly elven man who enjoys bingo.
Yeah. Wasn't my fault. We just were playing together, and he happened to be the one that went in.
and then he didn't come out.
That was life. I wonder what happened to him. Oh. Some of my favorite moments.
Working his way to the incredible old age and just stiff breeze could kill.
Yeah, a stiff breeze.
He checks the weather forecast. Oh, 5 mile an hour winds? I don't know. That's kind of pushing my luck.
Dangerous.
After you get the plate down.
and it's just made out of plates because he couldn't actually wear a full suit of mail. So here's funny stories of companions real quick.
No, I wanted to say something.
Okay, what do you want to say?
Some of my favorite moments of like D&D are when like the GM like starts to describe something that's happening like to you and your character, and it's like it's cool because it's like you're feeling the emotion that they're weaving the story, and so like even I'm not Alvyn, but like I was feeling what Alvyn was feeling and was like, oh my gosh.
And you don't even know
and I don't
why.
know what's going on, but Noah does! And Noah has this little inside, like, I love that. I love that about this game, is like, there's like...
It's truly magical.
It's a unique form of art, honestly. Like, you know, even video games can't quite get to the level. When you really get deep into role playing, you can understand, you know, how a character would feel and how a character would act. It's a completely different experience.
It's nuts. And like when you have a character that you know so well, because you know like their backstory, and then when those moments happen, it's like, what would I do? I am that person. Like, what would I do? And it's like you're writing a story, but like you're writing it as you're experiencing it, which is so cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool that it's, you know, when people, I mean, like, you know, when you start RPG games, when you start D&D or Pathfinder or whatever, most of the time you're just like, okay, yeah, whatever, let's get treasure, let's go to the next combat. Combat is fun. But then as you, like, have more experience in it, assuming you know, have a good GM and a good group that you're playing with, and you spend the time on your character, you really start to realize that those moments where you're doing character building, either just your character or relationships with other characters, that's where it's really fun and really meaningful. Those are the ones like that stick with you and make it feel real, make it feel magical, make it feel immersive. And
Exactly. It's like, oops, sorry.
Everyone has their favorite, you know, oh, this one time I slapped a goblin's head off with a critical hit on unarmed strike, you know. They have their funny combat stories.
Oh, one time I died flat out to 4 damage.
Yeah.
From a goblin.
So everyone has the combat stories, but it's like the ones that have like real impact, the moments that have real impact on you are those moments where like something really meaningful happens for your character, or your character does something meaningful for another character, or something like that.
Or it's a dark twist of something.
Yeah.
Of like something you weren't expecting happens, and then it's like, what does your character do? And you're like, ah! I am very addicted to this game because of those moments. Like, I am very much addicted, and I like it. I'd say I'm passionate and obsessed.
I'd say bordering on obsession.
That's so cool. Thank you guys for playing and making this possible. Like, this is so cool. Like, to have a bunch of GMs together.
I'm really grateful to have a. I'm really grateful. Oh, go for it, Jordan.
I was saying it's not a chore or anything. It's fun.
Yeah. I'm really grateful to have we have a good mix of you know, serious stuff going on, but also, you know, lighthearted, having fun, making jokes too, because I think it needs to be a good balance between edgelord and sitcom.
Magic tricks.
Yeah. And just think, if Grott had been less stingy with his healing spell slots, we would be so much further right now.
Yeah.
Hey,
This worked out!
listen, I prepared good things.
That is a healing spell right there. Boom.
The magic's...
Grott's just gonna be like, oh, that's a really nasty cut you got there. You want a berry?
You should go to a temple for that. Yeah. Oh, man.
Listen, he's a healer. He's not a crazy...
It's not his top priority.
Oh, frick, I just had a thought. This is... Oh, no. What if we have to go back to that priest before we actually go and plenish it?
Yeah. I don't know.
What would happen with the...
Just go to a different one. Go to a different temple. I'm sure there's more than one.
Now you guys are gonna have to sail out there, repair the ship while it's run aground on the shoal, and then sail it back yourselves.
Oh gosh, all three of us and Alec. Gonna summon my
That's about the size of the ship. Oh, no.
or the name. Did you get the name?
No.
How are you supposed to find it?
I know where it is.
Probably not a whole lot of...
Probably not a whole lot of scullied ships.
What?
I mean,
Oh,
It's a pretty rare sight.
I'm excited to see
I mean,
To me, it sounded like it was beached.
the dragons.
it's on a. He said shoal, so that would be.
Oh, shoal. Okay.
It would be in the
Shallow.
water still.
Shallow water.
Okay.
No, a shoal is like an outcropping of rock and oysters and stuff. It's like rock that are just below the surface of the water, and they usually have a ton of shellfish growing on them, which makes them really sharp and dangerous.
Oh my gosh.
And they're difficult to see. 'cause
Noah.
They're just below the water.
Noah.
What?
Alvyn. What the frick is going on with him?
Knowing looks. We're at a table right now. So
I know.
oh
I
man.
have a serious feeling I know what's going. I'm just connecting some dots, but I don't want to say anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I've had crazy ideas as, characters, so I'm sure that whatever Noah has is good. It's good. It's got good stuff.
It's got meat.
Good stuff. I mean, frick, I played a pregnant vampire in Justin's campaign.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was
That was
epic.
crazy.
I
I
went-
was surprised, too.
I went
was a big
so
surprise.
long,
She
Noah,
wouldn't even tell me.
without, I never told Zach, it wasn't until Zach's dwarf, pushed her shoes, because he can move.
I can move non-living things through stone.
Through stone.
A stone glide.
So I wasn't telling them something, and he's just like, come on, Ruby. And so he, pushes me down, and Justin's just like, you push her shoes in, and then you push her legs in, and then it gets to about her belly button, and it stops. And it was just like, what is going on?
I can't push living people through stone.
Mhm.
And so what I was going to do was just root the soles of her shoes in the stone as like a prank, like she can't walk now because her shoes are fused to the floor.
Mhm.
But it would stop at her feet, except it didn't.
But then, because I was, pregnant with not a vampire, it stopped there, because it was alive. So everyone was super confused, and then I was like, so I need to tell you guys some stuff, I guess. I'm a vampire, and I'm pregnant. What?
Yeah.
My childbirth was amazing. I went into mist form, and then that was it.
Yeah, that was while we were on a job trying to
In combat.
No, we weren't in combat. There was
No,
a
I was
haunting.
being attacked.
No, it was like a cabin on Vashon Island or something, and there was a haunting, and they wanted us to deal with it, and we were there, and then it was boom, and then right after that, the dad shows up.
That's what it was. Yes.
And then right after that, a freaking helicopter with Jacob's evil doppelganger shows up, and he's got a flippin' RPG.
Evil. I don't remember him being evil.
Well, he wasn't evil for very long because I one-shot him. I did an insane amount of damage and absolutely obliterated him.
Was that after the good doppelganger?
He had 3, right?
He had
there
3.
Were 3 of him.
No, he had 3. So he had his original. There was a good doppelganger, and then there was an evil one that we weren't sure existed until he showed up in like blood red armor with a rocket launcher, trying to kill us.
Pretty good way to confirm your existence, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Is it next week yet?
Yeah. Just gonna point out, wasn't the evil one to kill Easy?
No, Easy was blown up by Jacob's original character. Yeah.
Was it the original?
I think
it was the doppelganger.
The clones.
it was whichever one. It was the one that fell off the cliff and broke his back
Oh my god.
because he was freaking drunk while trying to navigate. And everyone crit failed on trying to catch him.
Yes.
And he fell 150 feet, broke his back.
It was so sad. It was almost as bad as when we all nearly died from the cat when we were shrunk.
Oh
and then,
my gosh! And the water
nearly killed me.
A glass of water spilled.
And I'm a vampire. And so
Down
it's like,
running water.
there's running water. I was like, oh my gosh! And I turned into mist, and then went back to my coffin. It was bad.
I wasn't there for that one.
I made myself such a flippin' nuisance to
It
those
was
guys
when-
too, though.
We were in the headquarters, and then the lady got attacked, and
We opened.
everyone was turned small.
Yeah, we were all shrunk down.
And Schrodinger the cat
Was
tried
trying
to eat us.
because we were turned into mice. We were polymorphed into mice.
So bad. Noah, I wish that you'd been there for that campaign.
That campaign
I
was
only
such a-
recorded the last session.
Yeah, a couple.
There were so many shenanigans.
Oh my gosh, that was. We got episode.
I'll send you that, Noah. If
That
you
was
want a good
absolutely
5
bonkers.
hours of entertainment. I actually thumbnailed like all of it. Like I started to go all the way through.
Oh, timestamps?
Timestamp it.
Nice.
It's good. Let me send that to you.
It's absolute insanity. It's what happens when you give Justin brains.
It's what happens when Justin runs wild with a homebrew game.
Yeah, it was a great time, but man, it was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
That was
Jordan, you've got to find time to launch the first session.
Oh,
when you got
yes.
the beginning, so that you can see. Yes.
Oh
my gosh.
I'm interested to see how that goes.
It's
You're gonna
hearing
love it.
about it. every
It's-
session.
You're gonna love
One of
it.
the questions I have where it's like, is he lying? Is he not?
okay.
Yeah.
It is gold. It is
so-
gold. It is so good.
There's a part of me that doesn't want to watch it just because.
To play your
I'm gonna have to do it actually.
So you don't want to have to deal with that like
Aw.
separation of what you know.
Because I know I can do that. It's just like I know I'll do it better if I don't.
I think
You might just
I
forget
don't
eventually.
think nothing like super critical happened. So I think
That's true. No, you were fun now. If that makes sense. Like it makes it
Oh, I get that.
more interesting to roll because I really don't know what happened. So I just.
it's
Who are you guys?
it's
How long have
fun
you
to
been together?
it's
Yeah.
fun to only have hints and suggestions of what may have happened and just kind of try to piece together a picture of it.
Pretty much, yeah. It's kind of interesting. I really don't know what happened. I'm the only guy here that does.
It's true.
And so I'm kind of scratching my head, and it's almost kind of fun where I'm like, what are they talking about? What is exactly going on?
What happened? Awesome.
And it's almost kind of one of those things where it's almost, I don't want to say it's better in my head, because I don't think it is. It's just like, me not knowing is part of this plan.
That's good. You can watch the beginning of the episode because that's the magic show.
Eventually, but there's a part of me that's like, I don't know, it's kind of like, there are a whole lot of real mysteries left in the world.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
It is gold.
Yeah.
It's
fun.
pretty. It's gold.
It's good.
If
We get
you
right
do-
into character.
If you do decide you want to watch it, you will not be disappointed.
Mm-mm.
Like I said, I'm sure I will pretty soon.
Yeah.
Just like maybe for the next session or two, I'm going to at some point. My curiosity's going to get the better of me.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose the longer you wait, the less likely it is to
Impact.
impact anything or even come up.
Yeah.
Noah,
Interference point off.
I'll send you that link, Noah. That was the campaign that changed the way that I viewed RPG games forever because of like the way that Justin yoinked my character and specifically like did stuff that would like my character had to face stuff was all of a sudden just like, oh my gosh, this world, this is a crazy game. And then now here we are. Ah, so cool.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was the one. Ugh. Alright.
So, two
Tell
stories.
stories, yeah.
Two stories.
I'll go ahead and end this.
So first, one thing real quick. I just wanted to tell you guys that I am actually keeping an in-character journal.
Oh!
The in-character journal of the journal that Alvyn has on his person.
That's good to know. In case you ever die, I can read your...
So in case anyone ever peruses that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good to know.
Oh, good.
That's super cool. Okay.
And in case the PM wants to know what's in it, it exists.
That's good to know. Oh, I'm excited.